Hello everybody, welcome back to Agrarian Skies. Welcome to episode 9. Got a couple things that I want to do in this episode. One, we kind of went a little fast at the end of last one, getting the pulverizer up and running. I tore it down and put it over here. I want to get started on an automatic ore processing system, and that's going to be a big part of it, along with some more. So I'd really like to get to the autosieve. Right, this guy. It's a problem, right? We made Invar a couple episodes ago. You can mix the pulverized powders together, or the dust together, to make an Invar blend, and then get that. But this electrum gear, the only way you can get it is by mixing molten electrum in the smeltery and pouring it into a gear cast. Okay, molten electrum is, let's see, it's basically equal parts gold and silver. So we're going to need a smeltery. That's okay. To get a smeltery, we are going to need, the seared bricks. So you need a few different components to make a smeltery. You need a smeltery controller. So a smeltery controller, which needs 8 seared bricks. You need some drains. You need some regular brick blocks. You got lots of stuff there. To make a seared brick, you need to smelt a block of grout. This is important. 1 block of grout gets 1 brick of seared brick. So to make one of these bricks, you need 4 blocks of grout to get there. To get a block of grout, you can combine gravel, sand, and clay. If you combine like this, you get 2. If you combine like this, you get 8. So I'm going to do that probably for most of the episode, but also wanted to finish up some quests. So I've got the auto packager set up on the crafting table. All we have to do is add that. We should get the auto packager. That's a useful tool. What it basically does is if it finds 4 of something, right, it's going to try putting those, actually 4 or 9, it's going to try putting those together in various ways inside a crafting grid, right? And when it finds something, like a 2x2, it'll go ahead and do it. And applied to something like a broken piece of ore, you get a block of ore gravel out the other side. It turns out to be quite useful in dealing with the ore processing. So we will be using an auto packager in there, probably more than one. I've got a design in mind that I'll be building, but the smeltery is important. Let's claim that and get our copper gear and a dragon fruit sapling. So I'm going to put the copper gears in here. The dragon fruit sapling I'll put over here with the food. I'm going to need to come up with a better way of organizing this. I've said that for a couple of episodes, and I've done various things to address it, but it's still, I really think inventory is going to be a problem up until really up until here, right? Getting skystone blocks and applied energistics. But anyway, that will not be in this episode. Lots to do before we can get into that. All right. Also, let's see what the aqueous accumulator needs. See if we can go ahead and knock that out. Machine frame. Oh look, copper gears. So we need. That is what we just got, isn't it? Why, yes. Yes, it is. All right. So we're going to need a pneumatic servo, a machine frame, some glass, and a bucket. Machine frame. That is not the machine frame I need. The pneumatic servo, iron and redstone, or silver, or Invar, or bronze, or steel. Probably iron, maybe silver. Right. Then the machine frame, wait for it to rotate back to the basic 10 gear iron. 10 gear is simply tin and copper. So we can make that stuff pretty quickly. Oh, I don't have enough iron. Okay, well, we won't do that right now. Okay, well, the next thing to do is get the smeltery. I want to start building the seared bricks for the smeltery. And if you'll recall, that's going to take gravel, sand, and clay. Clay being dust in water. This sounds like a job for the pulverizer. Let's get the generator out. And in fact, let's just go ahead and set it up. I'm just going to go ahead and take all the coal out because I'll probably end up needing it. And I'm going to go ahead and set it up down here. I think I'm going to put the ore processing system over in this direction. Just guessing right now. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But for right now, I will set the stone generator there. We'll plug that in. Oh, you know what? I am going to need energy conduits. Discovered that at the end of last episode. The generator, the stone generator, will not directly power the pulverizer. Just by being next to it, you do actually need some sort of power conduit between them, which is fine. Right? That's relatively easy to deal with. So it may not be obvious. I think this is our first machine from thermal expansion. These color blocks on the sides indicate inputs and outputs. You can configure a lot of interesting things with the thermal expansion machines. In redstone control, you can control if it ignores redstone signals, or if it's enabled when it doesn't have a signal, or enabled when it does have a signal. Usually I leave them on ignore because I tend to want them active. You'll see when we get into more advanced machines, I tend to use the inputs to control whether the machine is on or not. Next thing is its configuration. So you can see here, this is the front of the machine. This is the top, the bottom, the left, the right, and the back. The colors correspond to the various entries here. So blue is currently set. This is the input, right, where we can put cobblestone to break it down into gravel. Right, and it's set to be the top. The left and right are going to be the primary output, and the bottom is the secondary. That's not how I want this configured. I would really like for it to really not accept anything. If there's a way I could just turn it off. I'm not. There we go. Shift click on the front face and it turns everything off. So I'm not going to have it auto output anything right now. We'll play with that in a bit. But plug it up and we start getting gravel. We're going to need quite a bit of gravel. So I'm going to let that run for a bit. I'm going to try to get, I'm going to go calculate how much I need, how much the seared bricks I need for the smeltery, calculate how much gravel I need, and then go get that, and I'll come back. Okay, everybody. So I finished processing this down here. And I have 18 recipes of 8 blocks each of grout, giving me a whole bunch of grout. And if I calculated this correctly, once I get this cooked up into seared bricks, then I will be able to build what I want to build. Let's find out. I will be back in a few minutes, unless you guys, I don't think anyone really wants to just sit here and watch this. Actually, while that's running, I will talk about, I pulled the World Interaction upgrade out of this transfer node, and a couple reasons for that. I'm thinking about taking apart that cobble generator since I have the one downstairs, but the book that was in that initial chest shows over on page 60 something. Transfer nodes. Let's see, there was one on mob traps. There we go. Collecting loot. So hoppers, Botania hopper hooks. I've never used that. You have to provide it with mana, which seems irritating. But it notes that extra utilities transfer nodes will suck up items in the area around it when provided with a World Interaction upgrade. More upgrades will increase the area it picks up in. So I haven't figured that bit out yet. But I did come over here and set one of the transfer nodes for items right against the kill area, run a pipe out, and it is pulling things into this set. Most of this stuff actually I pulled out manually, but so in theory it is working. I've got to figure out which upgrades will increase the range of the pickup. I don't know if it's more World Interaction upgrades or what, but I'm going to figure that out at some point. But that's moving along towards the quest of not really having to, towards the goal of not really having to deal with it. Let's see, we're smelting here on the workbench. And wow, you can tell how much faster that one is going. As you recall, this one has the production speed increase upgrade on it. Well, it's clear that it does something, considering that guy is way ahead. What, twice the speed right now? So, good stuff. We'll let that run a little bit longer. I'm also going to show you, let's see if I've got enough iron. I do. So I'm using these Java Better barrels for moving things around. And one thing that is really irritating, if you don't know this, if you go to try to move them, let's pick this one that only has 7 gunpowder in it, right? Oh. I thought that it would actually release the gunpowder, but it looks like you just lose it. Oh no, wait a minute, it picked it up and I didn't notice it. I'm sorry. So, if it's only 7, that's not a big deal. But if I dump this thing out that has 7 stacks in it, it's a little bit of a mess. Let's say one gets full, that's even more of a mess. Well, we can build something to help with that. So if you put the iron with a wool, did I? Java. It's called a dolly, and oh, it's not wool, it's a, that's my mistake. Just a second. Not wool. Plank. I don't know why I was thinking it was wool. And we get a dolly. Excellent. Now, wow, something is taking a long time to die. If I right-click a barrel with dolly, I now pick it up. Now I get a slowness and fatigue debuff while I'm moving it around, but I can place that with its inventory anywhere. And that's great for barrels, but it also works for chests, and may work for other things, but those are the things I primarily use it for. Wow. What is going on with him? Oh, it's a zombie with 100 hit points. Wow. That was really irritating. So yeah, I've clearly got a little bit more work on this to get the range upgrades in place, but it will be nice to not have to deal with this. And yeah, those things all came from there. Okay, so moving along. Let's go check on our seared bricks. And they are almost done. Ah, that one stopped because it was full. Alright, so we've just got to wait for that. What we can do, we'll go ahead and build, let's see, I'm going to need a few different things. The first thing I'm going to need is the Smletery controller. So if I put that around like that, Smletery controller, the brains of the smelter, and you see I get Mighty Smelting by Thrall, and has lots of good stuff in here about how to use the smeltery, how to build it, things that you can melt down in the smeltery to get things. Lots of good stuff, right? Casting table, casting channel. You know what? I think I may have messed up my calculations because I don't think I accounted for a drain, a faucet, or a basin. Okay, well we might run out. Let's hope not. So, we've got our controller. We're also going to need a seared tank. Okay, so a seared tank. Well, let's look it up in the book. Controller, we'll need a drain. We'll need a seared tank, which is 8 bricks and a glass. I'm also going to make some just standard seared glass. So let's go get some. Let's go get a bit of glass and use it. So, first up, I would like to make one seared tank. Right, this is basically the fuel tank for the smeltery. Then I want to make 2 seared glass, and there's a really good reason for that. The way the smeltery is a multi-block structure, and it's big enough. I'm going to build one with 18 blocks of internal capability. When it's that size, it is big enough and dark enough to spawn mobs. Mobs are not great for smelting metals. There are, I believe, some metals that call for that, but they usually just tend to mess me up, so I don't like them. So we've got our tank. No, we did not build the tank yet. Yes, we did. There it is. Tank, glass, the controller. Now we need 2 drains. All right. And this is where you'll get things out of it. We will need 2 faucets. And that's where I may not have actually accounted for this correctly. We will need a casting basin and a casting table. So just invert the patterns. All right, we've got our basin and our table. And I believe that is it. So with the rest of this, I'm going to make seared bricks. I have 22 seared bricks. That is nowhere, I don't think that's anywhere near enough. I will be right back. So nowhere near enough was a bit of an overstatement. I need 5 more. So to get 5 more, we can just use the same recipe we used previously. We will need to pound one of those sand into dust. And none of the barrels are full. Fortunately, I have a water source over here. Okay. Let's go do that, and looks like I probably should eat something. Oh. You know what? I forgot that I need, to get 5 bricks, I'm going to need 10. Or 5 blocks, I'm going to need 10 bricks, not 8. Okay, well. What is it doing now? Oh, it's auto-crafting. That's weird. Okay. Alright, anyway. Let's head downstairs and start building this, and I will figure out if I actually need more. Let's put the smeltery... This looks good. We'll just put it right here. So, to build the smeltery, you've got to start with a 3x3 base. And yes, I know I'm going to need to expand the platform a bit. I'll do that in a minute. Okay. There we go. Now, the next step is we want to build basically a wall around that. You don't need the corners to be seared bricks. So I have not made them seared bricks to save material. I usually like to put my control up here. So I put the control there. The tank needs to go on the same level with the controller. And then, yeah, this is where I'm going to run out, I believe. But I'll at least show you what it's going to look like. I didn't do this on the first layer. I'm going to drop in the glass here so that I can put a torch right beside it. What that's going to do is make it so the inside is lit up, even when there's nothing in there, so that mobs will not spawn in it. We're also going to drop out a drain right there. We'll put one of the seared faucets on that drain with the casting table. Put the other drain here, faucet, and the basin. And this is where I'm out of materials, because what I need is 1, 2, 3 more. And so I will go and get that. Now just to avoid problems, I am going to cover this with half slabs. That will prevent mobs from spawning on the top. And I'll need some more of those too. 4 more. Okay, so I'm going to go make some more of the seared bricks, make some more slabs, and we'll come back and start using the smeltery. Okay, everybody, we're back. Sorry about that. Math, you know. Oop, that was not where that goes. Now, if we have done this right, the controller will be lit up. Excellent. So, now, that's how you know that the multi-block was accepted. It lights up. Oh, incidentally, the slabs on top are not required. You can also make this significantly taller if you'd like to increase the internal capacity. So you can see each layer has 9 blocks that are hollow. There are 18 blocks here because I have it's too high. And that's how many things I can put into the smelter at one time. Right now, no fuel. So let's get some fuel. That is why there's a bunch of lava over here. Okay, it'll hold up to 4,000. We'll just go ahead and take all I can out of here. And go fill this back up. I think in between episodes I will probably work on getting the lava generation a little more streamlined. So anyway, we've got fuel in here now, and what I wanted to make this this entire time was the auto sifter. So let's go take a look. Okay. There was some place that I thought you could actually get the gear pattern. Maybe I was imagining it. Okay, so to make that automatic sieve, or sieve, we're going to need Invar, right, which is 2 iron and 1 nickel. We'll need a silk mesh. We know how to make that. We need this electrum gear. Electrum, we already established, is half gold, half silver. We'll need, I think it's 1 ingot to make a gear. But we're going to need this gear cast, and a gear cast has to be made from aluminum brass poured around a gear. Aluminum brass is what's that? 4 aluminum to 1 copper. Okay, so, and it's very little, right? But that's what we need. So 4 aluminum to 1 copper. For aluminum, 1 copper. Let's go ahead and get our gold and silver while we're here, and we have these gears to make our cast. We're going to do a couple things here. Now I think let's go ahead and add our aluminum and copper, and this should make us some aluminum brass to do things. You can see each type of metal is going to heat up at a different rate. You'll see them. Now we have molten aluminum. Whatever's on the bottom of this tank is what's going to come next out of the faucets when we go to use those. Right? But when this joins, it'll be able to alloy. Okay, so we have 1 ingot of aluminum left. Apparently I just did the math wrong. And 4 ingots of aluminum brass. So, first thing we should make is an ingot cast. So I'm going to put an ingot on the casting table. I'm I'll pour the aluminum brass around it, and I guess the silver ingot was consumed. Well, that's unfortunate. I'll have to go get another one. But I have an ingot cast. Let me, that's a little odd. I didn't realize it would do that. Fortunately, I have another silver. I didn't try to use platinum or anything really rare. Alright, so we've got our ingot cast. Now, we need to make a gear cast. I really hope this copper gear is not... Let's build a wooden... I think we can make a gear cast with some other kind of gear. Okay, we can use a bronze gear to make the cast, copper gear to make the cast, tin, iron, gold. Can I make it with anything else? I can make it with a wooden gear. Let's go get some sticks, just in case I lose them. Great. Alright, get that down, pour the aluminum brass in, and now, yep, we have a gear cast. We still have one ingot of aluminum brass and one ingot of aluminum, so that's where this gear cast comes in. Next time we need aluminum brass, we can simply add that one ingot into it. And then I just got my other ingot of silver. Oh, the silver was there. No, the aluminum was there. Okay, very good. So there's the aluminum brass, there's the aluminum. Now we need to make the electrum. That's gold and silver. And we will be using the gear cast. Now while that's running, let's go get our iron and nickel to make the invar. For this guy, we're going to need 4 and a bit, right? So since each recipe will make 3 invar, I'll need to make 2 recipes. The recipe is 2 iron and 1 nickel. I don't have any iron left, and I don't have enough to make it, so I'm going to go make some gravel. We'll make this gear, and then I'll make gravel. Alright, so we've got 2 ingots of electrum. Pour 1 in, and make a gear. Ooh, maybe I needed more. Okay, I'm going to need, another 2 more ingots. So I guess I did not read the material required carefully enough. That is my fault. Gold and silver. Okay. While that is working, that's the generator. Let's add that cobblestone into the pulverizer and go make some iron. Okay, 2 more ingots of electrum. Pour that in there. Got our electrum gear, got our gear cast, and the smeltery is empty. Here you can see the reason I was really eager to put that torch down. If you don't have those windows, the inside is dark enough to spawn things, and we wouldn't want that. Alright, so I've got the electrum gear. Now I've got to get some iron. So I will come back when I have enough iron to make the Invar. Okay, we're back. We need to make Invar. To make Invar, twice as much iron as nickel. So I have 4 ingots of iron and 2 ingots of nickel, which should make me 6 ingots of Invar. Once we get through that, my goal for this episode is to finish the autosave. And just so I'll have something to put in it, I'm going to go ahead and create some gravel over there. Now, we need this Invar in ingot form, so I'm going to go ahead and load the ingot caster. And I picked up 10, not nickel. So now there are 2 ingots of nickel in there, but this gives us a good opportunity. I did not plan this, but it's a good opportunity to show you how to get things out of here. So these 2 ingots of tin are on the bottom. If I click the drain, the thing on the bottom is what comes out. So now I've just got the 6 ingots of Invar, and I've got 2 ingots of tin. So let's go ahead and get this Invar out. If it was 9, I could have used the block caster, the casting basin, but with only 6, it would drain out, but not be enough to form the blocks. It would just sit there until we either broke the casting basin, losing the metal, or added enough to actually finish it. Alright, now let's put that away. We'll head upstairs with the rest of what we need, specifically the silk mesh. I haven't made that yet. Fortunately, we have plenty of string right now. Alright, so this recipe is, we're going to need ingots down there. Or nuggets, not ingots. And now we have an automatic sieve. Let's go try it out. I do still have my flux stuck on me. I've never used this block before, so I'm not entirely sure what it's going to look like, but should be fun. Alright, so guessing this is input, guessing this is output. It does need power. It is picking up power from there just fine. And let's grab some gravel, see what happens. That looks good to me. So it's keeping everything in its inventory. I'm guessing, well, my assumption is we can pull that out with pipes. And good times. Alright, so we are well on the way to automated ore processing. I think that's going to be it for this time. And I think between episodes I will work on clean up a little bit and probably expand the platform for the larger ore processing system. And see you next time. I appreciate you watching. If you liked this, hit the like button. If you didn't, hit the dislike button. If you have suggestions for how to make it better, let me know, and I appreciate it. Have a good day.